Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Insiders by Shannon Knight. This is a book that came out in 2023. It's self-published. It's a sci-fi. I received a copy of this novel from the author in exchange for a fair review, so thank you to Shannon for that. A character-driven space opera, Insiders is a great sci-fi that has a touch of The Expanse if you're looking for more of that. What's it about? In a universe of long-haul truckers, parasite-bearing megalomaniacs, asteroid rustlers, and homicidal peacekeepers, some people just want to stay alive. Deep within Karibos Station, pipe crawler Sachi Inside is dying of the planet-killing Hybravian virus. In a state of delirium, the agoraphobic girl agrees that in exchange for her life, she will not only leave her pipes, but the station. A parasitic plant wraps around her, guides her to an exiting ship, and adheres to the hull. Captain Karasi Kwai is not pleased to discover a stowaway, but the crew thinks there's money to be made on the plant, and the fact that both the Eastern Star Corporation and the Elysium Empire are tracking it confirms its value. However, none of that matters when the entire crew falls sick with the incurable Hybravian. I cannot say this. But Sachi's plant contains the solution to the reversal of the closing universe. All they have to do is fight the mercenaries, survive the virus, evade the Elysium Empire, and navigate a fluctuating microwave wall in order to save the universe. One thing I really enjoyed about this book was the point of view. It's third-person multiple, jumping between not only the good characters, but sometimes giving us insight into the antagonists. This broadened out the motives of the villains, which helped us to raise the tension and expand on the world building. Shannon, and her editor presumably, absolutely do not engage in head hopping, and I found that amazing. This is one of the things I see most often when I'm getting a new manuscript that I'm going to edit, and it's also something I often see in self-published writing that clearly needs another edit. Head hopping is when you jump between the perspectives of the characters in a scene, which is jarring. I'm not going to get into kind of the whole thing. I had a bunch of notes about it, but I'm like, you guys can look it up if you want. But this book definitely does not do that, and it handles the point of view with finesse, and I really, really appreciate that. It was really, really well done. The world building itself is really rich and wide-ranging. There's a lot going on. The virus, which I'm not going to try to pronounce again. There's that. There's a sort of fluctuating dark matter or highly volatile something floating around, the edge of the universe, which is so strong it's, causing planets to move and space to constrict, as well as various factions competing for kind of control in the galaxy. Aside from the plant thing, we don't have aliens, but some people have been altered either by their planet over the centuries or on purpose, and they seem to be almost alien in culture and appearance. So that was really fun. It also kind of reminded me of The Expanse a bit, how you have like the Belters who haven't been adapted to live like in zero gravity, that kind of thing. But none of this information is like info dumped. We're left to either infer this or the information is deposited gradually, and I really appreciated that. I liked the characters, so because there are so many point of views, I didn't grow to love any of them. All of them are distinct, and how they act made sense, but I found I wanted to know just a little bit more about each character than what I got. But that might also be like a good thing, because it kind of made the story very broad, and it felt like a lot of people were impacted by what was happening in the story, and I really liked that. The one thing about the book that I could critique is that it does take a little bit to get going. The first scene is exciting and fast-paced, but a little bit of exposition on the insider's life in the pipes might have helped a little bit with me understanding, because I felt like I was trying to figure out what was going on as opposed to kind of following the action. This also could be because Shannon gave me this book a few months ago, and I completely forgot the premise when I started reading, so that might also be on me. The book really gets going around, I'd say like 20%. That's when the world building and the characterization really start to gel and the plot takes off. After that point, I was absolutely hooked and I couldn't stop reading. While the medical science and space aspects were rooted in reality, one thing I also kind of had a bit of trouble with was how much time passed while they were in transit. The entire story takes place on moving ships, and it seems like they move from place to place rather instantaneously. It's possible I missed something. This happens sometimes. But even like subheadings might have helped, like something like 10 hours later or something like that would have helped kind of me understanding how fast this, FTL travel was. Or maybe like a few scenes of the crew interacting in transit. We often see the characters interacting one-on-one or in groups of 3, but we rarely see them as a big group. I think a big kind of like almost like dinner situation would have been fun at one point. But those things honestly are like super minor. The book is really engaging. It's really exciting and fun with great tension and really fun world building. I really, really enjoyed it if you couldn't tell, and I highly recommend it. I'm surprised it didn't get further in the SPSFC 3 last year, as I thought it was excellent. And, I thank Shannon for bringing it to my attention. So thank you so much for the review copy. And yeah, if you folks want, something kind of like The Expanse to read, you should totally check this out. So thanks.